Hello everyone and welcome into Icebreakers. Once again, I'm joined with the Condors player to get to know you a little bit better. This is Condors player Luke Esposito. Luke, thanks so much for joining me.
Absolutely, thanks for having me.
You a little nervous?
I think I'll be okay.
Okay. I know, I'm probably more nervous that I need to make sure that I ask him 23 questions, but the first one, a pretty easy one for you, Luke. Why hockey? Why was that the sport you chose in your life?
Growing up, my mom's whole side of the family played. My grandpa on her side and my two uncles both played professionally. So growing up watching them and knowing just the family legacy was something I always wanted to get into.
Pretty cool. And for you, what's the ultimate, most favorite part about the sport of hockey?
Oh, there's a long answer to that, but I don't know, just something about getting out on the ice. It separates it from every other sport. Most sports are running or jumping, and here there's something different about gliding like that. So like a lot of people just like skating, so it's obviously a big part of our game.
Makes it fun to watch, that's for sure, and that's why we all love it because it's a pretty fast sport. Put you in a hot seat here. What's the maybe toughest part about hockey, or the part that's your least favorite?
For me, it's just being away from family. I've lived my whole life on the East Coast, so the last 2 years being out in California, the travel can be just being away from family and traveling a lot and being away from home can get old, but you know, there's not much to complain about in this job. It's what I've always wanted to do, so no complaints.
And if I know this right, you went to Harvard?
Yeah.
All right, well, what's the nerdiest thing about you then, if you went to Harvard?
Nerdy, something maybe it applies as nerdy, but I'm rereading with Jake Kulovich, and I rereading all the Harry Potter books right now, so actually
Perfect.
He's never read them, I have, so we're on book 4 right now. So
Harvard's pretty Hogwartsy. That was another question I was going to ask you, but I was going to say hockey players aren't too nerdy, so I was like, it's probably not too nerdy. But going to Harvard, that's pretty cool, pretty awesome experience, I'm sure.
Yeah, it was incredible. Everything about it, the school, and it was an awesome experience.
Now you're out here in Bakersfield. What was the biggest shock for you? You said you're an East Coast boy. What's the biggest shock when you got here and landed in Bakersfield?
Well, I think the day we got here was 100 degrees, but it wasn't so much the heat. I grew up in South Carolina, so if it was 95, you're sweating through your shirt. Here with the dry heat, we could golf and I wouldn't sweat. Just the difference in that. So, I mean, I loved it. I've loved it so far.
For the Bakersfield Condors, playing for them, but also a part of the Edmonton Oilers organization. So, what's the coolest thing about being a part of those two organizations?
Yeah, I obviously have family ties with the Oilers, so that's pretty special for me just to be a part of the organization that, you know, not just my uncle, but the whole family was such a large part of through the 80s there. So, you know, I'm very grateful to be a part of it, and obviously a historic organization.
All right, and I don't know if you get a chance to watch a lot of movies, but I'm sure as a kid, what was your favorite sports movie?
Oh, I always love Miracle. That might be a common answer. Miracle, and I love Glory Road too, the Texas Western basketball story. So that's pretty special as well.
Cool. I was gonna say, Keegan didn't say Miracle. I thought I was gonna get all of you to say
Canadian.
Miracle.
He's actually American, but he doesn't want anybody to know it. So.
Well, with that, it's funny. It brings me up to this point. So a lot of Canadians on the team, a lot of Canadians in the sport of hockey. What's better food, Canadian food or American food?
Oh, is there that much of a difference?
So I've heard. I don't know.
Italian is my answer. My dad's the best Italian cook, so I don't know the difference between Canadian and American, so I'll go with Italian.
I'll take the pasta any day.
Yeah.
And for you, what is the biggest misconception about hockey players? Truth.
This is kind of heavier, but like a lot of people think a lot of us are dumb. I don't know if it's like because we're missing teeth and all that, but like a lot of guys have like you know, have a lot of different hobbies that are really interesting, and there's a lot more behind us than just the fights and all that stuff. So
yeah, you got to be tough to play hockey, but you got to be smart too to play at this level. Yeah. And this guy went to Harvard, so I don't think he's dumb. All right, Luke. So your favorite part about this team?
I don't know, some other guys might say the same thing, but it's really special having a group where every single guy gets along. You know, like I played on a lot of really fun teams with a lot of good group of guys, but here it just seems everybody's excited to come to the rink every day. You know, you could get stuck in an elevator with any guy and you know, you're fine, or you sit across a different guy at a meal every day, and you know, you get to learn something new about everybody. So it's really special group of guys, and I'm grateful to be a part of it.
Yeah, so obviously you enjoy that time together. You enjoy time on the ice. So what's your favorite thing to do off the ice?
We got a little crew of us, are big golf fans, so we love to go out there and pretend we're Tiger Woods for a couple hours. But it's a great way to get away from the rink and just get your mind off hockey for a bit. And you know, it's 4 hours and then you're back to the real world. But it's nice to get away. So
it's true that hockey players are really good golfers.
Really good. I don't know. It varies from guy to guy, but I guess when you play out here with the weather all year round, you can improve your game for sure.
Yeah, I still need to learn that game. I don't have that game. But for you, sticking with the golf theme, who is the best golfer then on the Condors team currently?
Brad Malone doesn't get out often, but he's got some serious game when he does, so I'll go with him.
Okay. Yeah. Hey. Bugsy, right?
Yeah,
I was like, Bugsy's good on the course. Got it. I'll ask him to help me because I still need my golf game up. All right, so going back to movies, if someone was to make a movie on you, who would play you in the movie?
Oh, that's such a tough one. You don't want to sound cocky about who looks like you or whatever, but
that's okay. Go bold.
I got told a long time ago by a couple people that I looked like Robert Downey Jr. I don't think so at all, but we'll go with Iron Man.
Pretty cool.
Iron Man it is.
Love that. Well, if we could switch spots and you could be on TV, what job would you take in the TV business?
I actually am, like, if I sometimes once in a while we think about what we do if it wasn't for hockey, but I was always interested in writing, so I guess TV is part of that.
Yeah.
So I like doing the interviews, being around the players, and just stuff like this, like seeing what happens when they're not doing what everybody sees them do every night. So yeah, something like that, reporter or something.
Well, we have some openings at 23. Should we put your name in?
Yeah, throw my name
in. All right,
there.
guys, we got it. Well, I was just going to ask you that. So beyond that, if you weren't playing hockey, then what would you be doing specifically? So you said writing.
Yeah, like growing up, I was always better at math, and then I got to college, and that was not the case. So I kind of started focusing more on my writing, and I actually really enjoyed it. So I think when I had chances to write papers about different subjects that I really enjoyed, I found it, like I really loved it. So I could see myself doing maybe something like that after.
I love that. Well, if you end up writing something, make sure to give us a sample of that.
We'll
test
do.
It out.
Yeah.
So you guys travel a lot, obviously, and at this level of hockey. But for you, what's your favorite place you've ever traveled, whether it be for the sport or just personal?
My family's been going every summer, or whenever we can, we try to go down to the Bahamas. All of us, like 30, 40 of us, try to get down there together, and for a while it changed different places each time, but the last 15 years we've been going to this little island called Harbor Island in the Bahamas. It's only 3 miles long, so it's definitely a getaway. There's not a whole lot going on, but when you have that big of a group down there, it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, so in the off-season we can find you in the Bahamas.
So that's the spot, yeah.
And that's funny you say that, because my next question is, if you were stuck on a deserted island, what would you want to bring with you? One thing. Hopefully we never get in that situation.
Yeah, some sort of game. Like my family, we grew up playing a lot of beach games, so volleyball, or we play a lot of bocce with the Italian heritage. So nice. Something to distract you, I guess. I guess that's not the most practical answer, but
at least he's having
we'll
fun.
Say there's water or something around, and we'll have something to distract us.
And if you were stuck on this island and you could bring one teammate, who would that be, and why?
Logan Day. Again, just for the distraction, not for any practical purposes. I don't think he'd help us build a raft or anything, but
again, it's all about having fun.
Exactly.
If you're gonna be stuck on the island, you gotta have fun. All right. Well, for you, obviously, I'm gonna assume your favorite sport to play is hockey. What's your favorite sport to watch?
We watch a lot of football on Sundays, but just with the way golf's going now, and I'm such a big fan, I like watching golf, especially down on Sunday and when it gets close. So football or golf probably.
Okay, yeah. Very two different sports.
Yeah, very different.
I'd say I like football. Golf is a long.
Yeah, it's hit or miss
long broadcast.
For sure. Yeah.
And favorite NHL team growing up, if you could name one.
New York Rangers growing up, yeah. I lived in Connecticut from the age 10 through college, so where I lived in Connecticut, everybody was either a Ranger fan or an Islanders fan, so
Awesome.
I grew up watching the Rangers.
And overall, I mean, many years for you playing in the sport of hockey, what's your favorite memory?
My senior year in college was pretty special. Just putting in 4 years with the same group of guys, and then having it all come full circle. And my first year we were really quite bad, and by my senior year we won the league regular season and made it all the way to the Frozen Four, and then we won the Bean Pot that year. So that was I'd say winning the Bean Pot is probably my favorite hockey memory.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And obviously you love spending time with the guys that you've played with, but I'm sure all that time you kind of learned about your biggest pet peeve.
Yeah.
What's your biggest pet peeve?
Oh,
you can say
yeah,
it.
Logan Day again, the same guy I'd bring to the island.
He'd annoy you?
When he forgets to put on his shorts before he works out is a little bit of a pet peeve, so we'll go with that.
All right, Logan. Well, we know you're the fun guy, but put on some shorts.
Yeah.
All right, so my final question, we made it to the end. 23rd question. How would you break the ice? It's the name of the show. This answer could be anything.
Wow.
Could be literal, it could be whatever you want to say.
Ever seen Friends?
Yes.
The Joey Tribbiani. How you doing? We'll go with that.
How you doing? Well, we're doing good, and Lucas Esposito just finished it off. That's pretty good.
Thank you.
I love it. Well, guys, as always, thanks for joining us, and we will see you next time for Icebreakers.